Chase, our lead engineer.
That's right.
Wave to the good people.
Very good.
Yes. And I'm Art. You might know me from other posts, other live sessions. I am the sales and customer service manager here, and just kind of the all-around, do anything, whatever it takes type guy. Right?
Finger gun.
Finger gun. So
talk a little bit louder.
Louder?
Yep.
I'm already yelling.
Yell louder.
Oh my God, come closer.
Well, okay, fine.
Okay, so the idea behind this is we're going to be doing a Q&A session. So whatever you guys want to ask us, how we thought of this is we just finished our display motor here, which you might have seen on some of our posts in the last couple of weeks. This is something we just did for the lobby, for the local guys that come in. We show them what our parts are all about. It's eventually going to go into our front clip. We have a 2012 WRX that got cut right at pretty much the firewall or a little bit past.
Correct.
It's going to be going in there, but for now, this is the best way to be able to see some of the parts on it, like external wastegate up pipe and, turbo setup down pipe before it's all hidden away. So what we're going to do is go over that a little bit more in depth. We're going to show you what all the GrimmSpeed parts are, and we want you guys to ask us questions. If you need some questions answered on how do you install an external wastegate up pipe, how do you set up a boost controller, et cetera. What do you think the average person would ask if we showed them this?
What's your favorite downpipe?
Ooh, it's going to be GrimmSpeed.
Yeah, that's
we're going to say
that's a real doozy.
Okay, so I'm going to bring up our page.
Do we need any filler? Is it snowing out there?
It is snowing out.
Oh yeah, we should mention we're in the snow capital of the world right now.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's getting there.
A record snowfall for February.
Almost 4 feet.
Almost 4 feet.
And it shows.
Which, I've said online, and a lot of Colorado and Utah guys are like, oh, we got 10 feet, but that's not up in the mountains. We're down here in the plains, essentially.
Pretty sea level.
Yeah, so to get that much, it's pretty impressive.
There's nowhere to put it.
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay, live. Here we are. Okay, cool. So we're starting to get some people joining.
23, 24.
23, 24. I'm just going to start reading off some of these, not necessarily questions yet, but comments. We want questions, remember. This guy just says, I like FRS and GTR. I think we all like that FRS and GTR.
I also like FRS and GTR.
Very similar cars in no way.
I also like sandwiches. Are we saying things that we like right now?
I think they have to be car related.
Oh.
Okay, not a question related to the motor, but I'm very fast, very poor. That describes all of my exes. Will you please sponsor me? 2017 Toyota 86, help your boy out from Buffalo. I appreciate the snow mention.
Not enough hashtags.
Not enough hashtags, but you know what? We get asked a lot for sponsorship stuff, and we actually do sponsor quite a bit of cars for all sorts of different levels. Guys are just starting out and really big names. I'm sure you've seen on some of the big YouTube guys and Instagram guys touting our names. So it's all across the board. What we usually request you to do is not to just message us on Instagram, because this gets lost in kind of everything. I mean, we get thousands of messages a day, it feels like. So officially, if you want to be considered for sponsorship, why don't you email us at sponsor@grimmspeed.com, and then we take a look at them one by one, see if you've kind of got the thing that we're looking for. You don't have to have a $100,000 build. You could be pretty much a stock car, but we take everything into consideration, essentially. So message us on, or email us, not message us on Instagram. Another question. For a Murdered Legacy, do you guys plan on making any downpipe blankets, and where's the GrimmSpeed equal length header? That would be an engineering question.
Did you say a Murdered Legacy?
No, well, his name is Murdered Legacy.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Are we going to make blankets? We actually looked at making blankets before. It's something we might do. A lot of the stuff that you see us making, or what we've made even in the last, 10 years, it's stuff that we've come up that's either innovative, or we're making the full product for ourselves. And something like a blanket, like the guys aren't going to be stitching up blankets in the back. That would be something that we'd source from someone else. So it's something that we've looked at, and we didn't really move forward with it because it's it wasn't our bread and butter at the time. But it's definitely something we're interested in. It's definitely possible. I like the sound of the EL header a lot more. We've done equal length headers here. There's a few prototypes. That's something that I'm guessing we'll probably do soon, because we really like exhaust parts, manifold design, everything like that. Everyone, there's a lot of good headers on the market, and I'm sure you can name at least 3, but like 2 of those headers are going to be the exact same header. There's nothing special about them at all.
Yeah, and the thing you need to know about our welded products, which most of you guys know, is they're all U.S. made. Our welders are just about 50 feet that way, and they're buzzing away all day. There's only so much we can do, so if we're doing intercoolers and downpipes and catbacks and uppipes and all of that all day long, it's hard to fit in something as major as a header. There's so much work that goes into that, and then we still have to sell at a reasonable price. You guys probably wouldn't buy a header that's $2,800, right? But we need to have that mix of the guys can get it done in a relatively short amount of time, and the product has to be really excellent. So we're a little bit more picky and choosy on what we put out, and we're not always the front runner on stuff like that, but we're definitely upper tier when we do come out with it. Okay, more questions. This gentleman just said greetings from South Africa. That is awesome that you're, I assume it's like 2 in the morning there, maybe. Battleborn STI, we've reposted them tons of time. Awesome car. Asks, common questions from typical new brews. Why do I need a tune after installing parts? Well, you don't need a tune after all the parts. An example of when you don't need a tune is one of GrimmSpeed's new bolt oil caps. We'll take these out of the package later. I know a lot of you guys are tuning in for the contest to see who wins these. We'll get back to that later, but no tuning required.
I like that you squeeze in that product pitch.
That's why they pay me the small bucks. But a lot of these parts do require tuning. A lot of our exhaust work, intake stuff. So maybe you want to chat about that?
I mean, a lot of times, a lot of parts you end up making major changes to both the vehicle, whether it's either the boost itself or how the sensors are reading what's coming in. It's like probably the most common one that I hear is, does this intake require a tune? I always say yes. I always say yes for intakes. You can, if you know what you're doing, you can try and get away with something sketchy, but something like, just speaking specifically about the intake, doesn't require a tune. All your friends on the internet are going to say, it needs a tune because now the MAF is a different diameter, and what's happening is it's reading slightly different, and it's going to make the motor run lean, and when it runs lean, it's going to blow up. Well, that's sometimes, it's true-ish. The biggest thing that I think it's a big deal to get a tune for, like just specifically, just the intake as an example, is that now, let's say the motor isn't actually running lean. Let's say that it's not running rich either. Let's say it's actually pretty good. But what's happening is that now what the sensor on the stock MAF curve, what it thinks it's reading, it's reading off a different load cell in the ECU. So if the AFRs might be okay, but the timing isn't okay, and that really has an effect on a lot of other things. So not only do you want to make sure that you're within like a safe factory parameter, or even like a safe tuner parameter, rather, a lot of your tuners are actually, without switching any parts at all, it can make just an engine better or safer or more reliable. It's stuff like getting rid of the ridiculous open loop fuel timing, changeover points, stuff like that. But you think of it like your tuner is almost like your doctor. Your mechanic is like your practitioner or whatever. If you love your car, and I assume you do, like you want it to keep working well, and it's just like your body. You can eat a bunch of, I don't know, I've never worked out in my life, but I think people snort creatine or something like that. I'm not sure exactly how
just a couple times a day.
Yeah.
It keeps me going.
But you can do that, and that's just like adding parts, but it's not necessarily safe.
And one thing I always tell from the customer service side of that perspective is, a lot of the stuff does require tuning, and at the end of the day, we're talking about $20,000, $25,000, $30,000 cars, and then we're talking about a $200-$300 tune. So in the grand scheme of things, you're paying good money for these parts. If you're throwing them on and you're not tuning for them, then you're doing yourself, but most of your car a disservice, and it's just going to end up costing you more later. But while we have the engine, let's just do a little, what requires tuning on this. Chase obviously mentioned the intake already, and that is one we highly recommend to tune on. The other aspects are pretty much all the exhaust work we make. So if you're running like an external wastegate up pipe like this, you definitely want to tune for it. If you're running one of our divorced down pipes, probably get a better look over here. you definitely want to tune for something like that. Now, when we get back behind like the catback, which you don't have on this display just yet, that it doesn't require tuning. Electronic boost controllers, manual boost controllers, all of that as well. One I get asked a lot of questions on is the top mount intercooler. My answer is typically it doesn't require a tune for your car to run safely. When you're talking about front mount territory and you're adding all of that piping, that's a little bit of a different story.
Maybe, but yeah.
More or less, it's something you can throw on. You're going to be okay with it, but you're going to get the greater benefits once you start tuning. Once you start cranking the boost level up and the horsepower and everything's hotter and moving faster, then that's when these really come into their own. So, you're okay to throw it on your stock STI, but when you get a tune, it's going to perform that much better.
Yeah, I think it's important to think about them not as two separate entities, like here's my tune and here's my new hard parts, but rather you're now putting them together to make them work literally together or in harmony.
Exactly. Okay, we spent a lot of time with that question, so we're going to move past it. I'm going to fire off some of these answers. One of these guys asked, how much horsepower is this engine going to make? It's going to make, it's going to be a difficult time making horsepower when there's no cams.
I don't think there's internals in there.
There's no internals. It's just a display motor, but it's going to go in a display car, so it'll look correct. It just won't ever run.
True.
Unless we decide to make a run next year, if the demand is there.
Not that one.
This gentleman has a JDM EJ20G, and he's wondering if he should run a bell mouth or a divorced pipe. So 20Gs, I don't know if those are twin scroll, if it would fit one of our downpipes, or if they're single scroll with the final flange.
I mean, I'm not sure off the top, but like just to turn that away from being something specific into something that's more general, we get asked the bell mouth versus, for example, our style, which is separated divorced. I will always say that I would go with this style. The reason that you'll see bell mouth style downpipes is simply because they're way easier to manufacture. There's a lot less parts.
And we used to do bell mouth downpipes. Years and years and years ago, we used to have bell mouth downpipes.
No, you're not going to see anyone with one. Like, it was
small run.
Super small. But if you think about how, the extruder on a turbine, like specifically the stock turbine, is small. It's like 2 inch in diameter. So if you think the way that the exhaust path would go when it's coming out, it comes from somewhere small and then expands into the large bell mouth and then expands down to the shape of the pipe. And not only is that not great because it's kind of messing with the wastegate side for boost control, but anytime that you're doing a large expansion and then back to a contraction, what is actually a very short amount of time, like you're going to have more turbulence, and there's really no reason for that. And it's the worst place to have increased turbulence is right at the butt end of the turbo.
So as far as we see it, the divorce design is superior. Why do people make bell mouth? It's just easier manufacturing to make a bell mouth rather than a divorce. What is the first mod I should do on my 2017 WRX? I would say the biggest...
Depends on what you want to do.
Depends on what you want to do. That's a great answer. In terms of power adder, if you want 20, 30 horsepower, J-pipe, tune.
Get a J-pipe and a tune or an access port.
Yep, and so that is kind of the best way to unlock that base power. And then after that, the sky's the limit. I mean, we typically see 15-plus guys go with intake, J-pipe. They might do a catback at the same time, 3-port boost controller, and then if they still got a little change left, intercooler, charge pipe, and then aesthetics, stuff like that.
I think one of the best things that you can do on new WRXs is just call up Cobb or whoever and get an access port. Because just out of the gate, just like the OTS tune with no hard parts, they're stage 1. Like, just the way that the throttle responds is so much better. It just makes the car into what I think is a much more drivable car. And then after that, maybe a J-pipe if you want to make more horsepower. If you don't care about that, you want to just make better noises, you're sick of being quiet, get a catback instead, or just, go with aesthetics or something like that. Figure out your goals before you start buying.
Hey, while we're on the topic of catbacks, everyone was freaking out a month or two ago with the California rules, and it actually ended up working out in our favor because we've been selling a ton of catbacks lately. We can hardly keep up with orders. Why? Because you've probably seen some of our testing videos, but they test under 95 decibels. So you have a lot of guys out west switching to them, and then pretty much everywhere because other states could follow suit. So just another little product placement in there. But if you're considering catbacks, look at ours based on noise regulations.
Lots of videos on YouTube too.
Yes. So. Matt Kobielek says, "Hey guys, SubiFest booth car in for the fun." He is a longtime supporter of us and one of our sponsor guys. Kobe650's personal account. Check him out. Let's see. A lot of people joining. Here's a question we knew we were going to get, and I'm going to put this one on Chase. Front mount intercooler release, question mark.
Front mount intercooler release, question mark? The answer is yes.
Yeah. So yes, we are working on front mount intercooler. We can't go into too much detail.
That's not what the question was. It just said front mount intercooler, question mark. Yes.
Yes.
I got you.
So we're gonna leave that one for a little bit later. We don't have any sort of release dates. We don't have anything we can physically show you just yet. We don't want anyone stealing our designs. So we're gonna keep going and see what else people have to ask. Hey Chase, when do you think the front mount intercooler will be available for the 2015 WX and STI?
When do I think it will be available? When we're done burning them up.
Hey, there you go. What's a good mod for an FRS? I personally think FRS and BRZ, they're suspension-oriented cars. They're driver's cars, so suspension-oriented mods. I'm a big fan of sway bars and kind of underbody suspension, so coils and end links and harden everything up under there. Everyone complains there's not enough power in them. I am one of the few people that disagree. I think the power in a BRZ and a FRS is a lot of fun, and you can maximize it with some of those supplementary mods, and then throw a turbo on it later.
Yeah, it makes sense for what the car is. Another thing that I really like for that car is just the tune. There's really only two options that I'm aware of. You have EcuTech and then OFT. Pick your poison. One costs a lot more than the other. But then the other good thing for that car too, and we don't sell it, but hell, header. Header's a great choice to get rid of the torque tip.
Yeah. And in terms of the stuff we do sell, we have intake, strut bars, master cylinder braces, so those things are also great to throw on.
Strut bar, you'll be able to feel the difference, which is something that I'm super skeptical about strut bars. I designed the strut bar, and I designed the strut bar knowing that I didn't like strut bars.
Yeah.
So we put in a lot of work and a lot of testing, and then we have tons and tons of people that report the exact same thing. A strut bar does not cost a lot of money, and it's one of those few like car mods where it's like, you buy it, and when you actually notice it, you're like, damn, I would have paid twice as much.
Yeah, and the same story goes for master cylinder braces. They're a thing that you throw on, and I was even skeptical until I threw it on, and you can actually feel it. And for a car like that, when braking has so much to do with, just the enjoyment of the car, but if you're doing track or autocross or whatever, lap times, it actually does affect it.
Mm-hmm. Our intake does make 9 horsepower, too, so 9 horse for $300 or $329.
And that's just bolt on. That's no tune required.
It's a good ass deal.
Okay. This gentleman was looking for a shift knob, stubby, heavy, but was wondering if you would make it in black like the Delrin version. So with our shift knobs, we let the material dictate the weight of it. So if we're talking the heavy one, it's just pure stainless. If you've ever held one in your hand, it's pretty damn heavy, pound and a half about, 600 grams. I think we just had a fuse blow because there was a very, very bright explosion over there. Somebody's doing something they shouldn't be.
Something's starting on fire.
Our shop is on fire, but we're going to keep toughing it out, answering your questions.
Is he asking about a stainless one?
He wants a heavy black one, essentially. So where I was going with this, the Delrin is lightweight. If you want a stainless, heavy knob in black, you're going to want to powder coat it, essentially. And that's sort of on you. We're probably not going to be doing a run of black.
Though we might.
We might now. Okay. A limited shift knob? Potentially. So we're not going to say no, but we won't be able to fulfill this order the next day.
No.
And he also asks, when's the WRX t-shirt coming? It's funny that you say that because we are looking at some new apparel, some new designs, and actually some collaborations with some big name people, especially on Instagram, to do some t-shirts. So we'll have something coming. Probably, maybe not a specifically WRX t-shirt, but you never know. Okay, give us the 02 to 07 WRX cat bag.
Give us the cat bag. Give me the monies.
Give us that money. It's something that is definitely not out of the question for us to make. The trouble is we're talking about a chassis that's, oh my god, 15 years old. Yeah, so when you're buying, let's say, a Bug Eye for $3,500, it's probably hard to justify a $1,200 exhaust for that. Not saying that people aren't spending the money, but just the meat on the bones is there as much as 08 plus chassis. And at the end of the day, we're still a business. We got to make things that sell and make us money. If we're selling it for the same amount that we're making it, then that's not really a worthwhile project for us. But potentially,
it's possible.
Potentially, it's a possibility.
It's possible. I'm still talking about it.
Let's see. Has R&D team ever considered any type of chassis bracing? Really, outside of the strut bar, we haven't done all that much chassis bracing.
Not a whole lot. I mean, there's already a lot of really good alternatives that you can buy for chassis bracing. And unless we really had something good, I don't want to just swoop in and make another, GT spec bar or another fender brace bar, something like that. I don't know. It's something that I think about. Our expertise really is in engine, exhaust, boost control, stuff like that. And we've branched out before, and it's all stuff that we're really interested in. But we're not pursuing it seriously. And that doesn't mean that we're not going to pursue it seriously. But it's a good question. If there's more and more demand for it, it makes it a lot easier to work on something.
Yeah, exactly. You guys asking for it always helps. I think there's a little bit of professional courtesy too. I mean, there's so many aftermarket manufacturers in the Subaru game, and we're good friends with most of them, that we don't like stepping on people's toes, and vice versa. They don't do the same thing for us. So, like in my car, I use White Line a lot. I know a lot of our guys use their suspension stuff. So, they're not a company that would make downpipes and uppipes. And vice versa, we're not necessarily a company that might make suspension stuff. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but right now, I think we all have our little niche markets and working pretty well for us. Chase, that shirt is fire, 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 fire.
I know.
It's true.
So rest in peace.
R.I.P. This strange woman who I live with says, "Who's that guy in the green?" And tongue out face.
Is that good?
It's my girlfriend. Hi, Clarissa. What's the benefits of running a GrimmSpeed intake versus Cobb SF?
What's the benefits of running the GrimmSpeed intake versus the Cobb SF?
And we went over this a lot actually with, I was going to mention the GD intake is something we released not too long ago, 02 to 07 STI, WRX, and 04 to 08 FXT. That one was a huge seller, and we had a Facebook group, like a group buy pre-order thing, and a lot of those same questions were asked on there, so that's a good resource in case you're looking for one of those. That intake has been selling super well, and a lot of people have been replacing their existing aftermarket intakes with this, which is like the ultimate compliment to have you spend a couple $100 and then have our intake come out and spend another couple $100 to switch them out, and usually with the tune. So maybe let's talk about why, not specifically Cobb, but why it might be a little bit better than a competitor's intake.
Yeah, because it's again, I really like Cobb. One of the things that our intake over, I'd say everyone's intake, is because just generally speaking, and you didn't specify which car it is, so again, super generally speaking, just the design methodology that we use is that, use the least length of tubing that you have to use, that's for less restriction, use the least amount of bends that you have to use for less restriction, and then we definitely focus on how it reads the airflow. Things like using air straighteners, and then the position and rotation of where we're putting the MAF sensor, and some other small touches with that I see other companies overlook. But it's the reason that when you talk to tuners, generally speaking, our intakes get recommended over almost, I'm not going to say almost everyone else, over a lot of other intakes. And it's because generally it's a lot easier to tune.
Well, one of the big advantages with us, we're typically not the first guys to come out with a specific product like that. You'll see it maybe 6 months later, 8 months later after the competition. We feel like a lot of guys rush through development. We don't like to do that. In fact, we like to see what's out on the market and test some of the competitors. That way we can improve on it. And intakes are probably the best example of that, because if you guys have been following us, which a lot of you have for years, we definitely weren't the first to do intakes.
No.
But we saw what was out there and we improved on it. So,
we're the last to do it.
We're probably the last.
We're
the last
15 years late on that.
It took us 15 years to develop it, so it's good. This intake is a good example. When Chase developed this one, first of all, you focused on doing a fully enclosed airbox. Not everyone's doing that.
Yeah, for the you're not really sealing heat shields. That's the cold air aspect of it is nice, but it's 100% not the most important part of intakes. Low restriction is the most important part of intakes. But like just using this one for an example is that on other cars, this intake would go, one company's goes straight out for a while and then straight down to here. So not only is it a lot longer than it needs to be, it has a bend angle that's completely ridiculous. And there's really no reason to put the filter all the way down at the ground when this works just fine.
But what if you want to suck up a bunch of water through your motor?
I mean, a lot of people are really worried about that. And the other guy says, you know what, I don't drive through puddles, so it's not going to be a big problem. So, but like I see a lot of I call it laziness in some of the designs. But like, you know, I understand that doing it fast and getting it done is important, but there's no reason to have that much pipe or that much bending. All you're doing is adding to restriction in a part that its only job is to decrease restriction.
Yep.
The other thing, like, just in general, why I like our intakes over everyone else's is the air boxes and the heat shields. I think they look a lot better. Everyone else's design is just square box, kind of sealed-ish.
Yeah, and that's why the GD and FXT intake has been popular in the last couple of months, because the reason people are ditching their other aftermarket intakes is just aesthetics. I mean, performance aside, aesthetics are very important, especially for something like an intake. And with that specific one, you designed it to sort of maximize the amount of area that it takes up to cover all the ugly stuff, the ABS module and the power steering reservoir, and it covers it up so it looks good. If you haven't seen it, go look online, but it looks a hell of a lot better than a lot of the aftermarket intakes that are just, you know, a couple flaps.
Yeah. First things first, you make a part that works really, really well, and then I'll do what I can to make it look good, because, you know, not everyone pops their hood, or sometimes you have your hood popped when you're in your garage by yourself drinking beer or something like that, but like, you know, there's a certain sense of pride for what you have and what you've made and your things.
And what you paid money for.
Yeah. There's no reason why it should look good, too.
Exactly. I've got the best question of the day. Who has the fastest car at GrimmSpeed? And I have a good answer. It's our stock 2018 WRX, because no one else's car works.
I think that is.
Yeah. We're very good at designing parts. We're not very good at getting our own personal cars running, because we're always focused on that.
No.
Moochie, our front desk guy, says his is the fastest.
2018 STI.
2018 STI. It's going to be a lot faster, though. We're actually going to be putting some parts on it pretty soon, and probably doing a little YouTube series on it once we throw stuff on.
Yeah, it's weird because the bank already sent me an email, and they wanted to know why you were modifying their car.
Yes, let's change this question to who has the fastest car at GrimmSpeed that actually also owns it? I'm gonna say it's me, but I'm gonna say I can't drive it very good, so it still has to be slow. Any chance you guys would make TGV deletes, EGR deletes, or air pump deletes for the EJs on the 15 plus?
EJ's on the 15 plus with the.
That's what he said.
EGR,
most of the guys,
EGR and a 15 plus EJ. What is he talking about, baby?
If we're talking about 15 plus WRX with the FA, those have been very popular mods. We haven't done them. Is there any reasoning behind that?
Number one recommendation to do when you talk to your tuner. First of all, when you talk to your tuner, they're going to say, I don't even know if I should say this. No, talk to your tuner about EGR deletes.
Yes.
You don't have to buy anything. How about that? That's the long and short of it. And then TGV deletes, it's very, very possible. It's something, there's so many good choices. Right now, you go to eBay and you can buy a $50 set of TGV deletes. Why aren't you going to do that? Is it because if you buy the $200 set from somebody else, they're going to be necessarily better or worse? I think that it is. Unless we can really come up with something that makes it more special. Now, with that said, we did develop a set, an all-in-one set that gets rid of the lower TGVs as well. But we didn't see as much power gained from that for what we would have to charge for it, so we just kind of pushed back on that. With that said, like, that's what we would probably do, but I really don't know. I don't want to make just a TGV delete. I would want to make the whole shebang-a-bang, and I really would need to look into it again. EGR, I already told you. What was the other one? Oh, air pump?
Air pump deletes.
Air pump is That's another thing where you can do that for real cheap. We used to sell air pump deletes. There wasn't a huge demand for them, so that's why we currently don't.
Yeah.
If it became a thing again, yeah, we'd look into it. But there's a lot of solutions for almost no money for that too.
Okay, a couple of other things I'm getting is, when are we going to announce the oil cap? You don't start with dessert, right?
No.
That's going to be towards the end of the session. I would say in the next 15, 20 minutes, we're going to start making some announcements on that. We were going to do it right away until questions started coming in, and there's a ton of them. There's also a lot of hate towards our cameraman, Clinton, for typing with the sound on.
Do they want me to respond to them?
They want.
Or do they want the?
Do you have a mute button?
I did mute it.
Samsung made a mute button.
I did mute it.
No, okay. I think it's probably good now. They love you, Clinton.
I can't do
both. They all love you. We're getting a lot of Shaka bras. We're getting a lot of high fives. That's great. Let's see. Lots of questions, so I'm going to be skipping around a little bit. Let's see. GrimmSpeed Racing Team, question mark. Here's a good one. Hey, Art, any idea if you guys will ever dip into oil coolers? Have we thought about it?
We've thought about it. That's another situation where if we're going to make our own heat exchanger, I don't think it's going to be as good as the stuff that you can already buy, like Set Trap. If we are going to make a kit, we're going to use something good like that cooler, and then we would make the ancillary parts to it. So it's not out of the question. It's definitely not out of the question at all. As far as making the exchanger ourselves, no.
I've got a good transition into oil caps. Please start making gold dress-up parts.
What kind of gold?
What kind of gold? Because we used to make some gold stuff, and we have a brand new. Technically, it's yellow zinc, but I'm going to call it gold because it looks very gold. So, Clint, come on in for the oil cap reveal. For guys that haven't seen this, we've been posting it a little bit, and actually these have been flying off the shelves in the last couple of days. This is one of the giveaway ones we're going to do. Let me open it up.
Bring a wrapped one.
I don't know. I'm very ill prepared. Just in general, not just for this. Ah, look at that.
Put the O-ring on it and everything.
I can watch in real time. Well, my live is slower, so...
Yeah, you're about 3 minutes behind.
I'm like 3 minutes behind. No, I'll see it. Yeah, okay, I see it now. It looks just as good, well, almost just as good on camera as it does in person. So
more gold parts, eh?
Yes. The reason we don't do as much of that, I mean, our company colors are red and black, mostly, and we'll do one-off little parts here and there. This one was just kind of cool because it matches some of the OEM bolts, so the zinc coating makes it look like something else. We probably wouldn't do like a lime green or pink or something like that.
And historically, too, GrimmSpeed, we've really been about, not really flashy parts or anything like this. This is actually the flashiest piece I think that I've ever really been a part of, and the reason that I really wanted it to be both, yellow zinc, aka gold with a little, oil slick to it, and clear zinc is just so it would match the bolts. And you'll notice that on like the 15 plus cars, I really see a lot of clear zinc bolts, and then on the previous ones you see a lot of the yellow. So like, pick the one that you want, but also if you're going for a theme, just go outside and look and see what the majority of your bolts look like.
Yeah, put the other one next to it.
And speaking of clear zinc, let me pop that one open too, because it looks really cool. I haven't really decided which one I prefer more. Oh, a real genuine knife. Cut me, bro. Okay, there is the clear zinc, so you might call it silver and gold to the untrained eye, to the non-engineering eye.
It's really what they are.
And actually, speaking of non-engineering eye, are you guys engineers, question mark? Where did you get your degrees from?
University of Minnesota.
Okay, I got mine from the University of Hard Knocks.
He's not an engineer.
No, I'm not. I'm not an engineer. But I do have my middle school equivalency, so I know a thing or two. When are those coated up pipes coming in? Those, I think we just actually got a batch of external coated up pipes in, so the guys are wrapping them up. Right around this time of season, it's really tough for us because, well, it's not tough, it's a good problem to have, we'll say it that way. All of our dealers and distributors are buying up tons of our stuff because of tax season, so they're selling more, which means we're selling more, which means we need to make more of this stuff. And we're going as fast as we can, but we, at the end of the day, still have a finite amount of people here and work with companies here in the area that can only do so much volume at a time. So we try and get our processes down to get stuff out as quick as possible, but expect some delays. If you've been following us for the last couple of years, you may have noticed that especially 2018 has been a huge year for us to have stuff stocked all the time, whether you're going to Rally Sport Direct or any of our other dealers, thousands of dealers, or directly on our website. You're seeing the stuff in stock. And that's just because we're working hard every day. Our welders are welding, our coders are coding, and assemblers are putting it all together to get it out to you guys. So Up-Pipes specifically, they're getting wrapped up right now. If you've got one on order, it'll be coming to you soon. And if you see something out of stock, you can put on an order anyway. Saves you a spot in line, essentially. And the crowd goes wild. I don't know why. Probably something to do with me. 24K played all the things.
24K? Sounds good. That's some lowrider stuff right there.
Yes. That's some Bruno Mars stuff right there.
It is.
Hey. Are doing too many donuts and keeps breaking. Talking about my car. It has a massive coolant leak that I don't know anything about. I parked it running perfectly well, and there's a puddle of coolant underneath. So,
it's going from there.
I mean, you don't need coolant to run. You just can't run very long without it.
Different opinions.
Different opinions. A question on blast plates. The cap is dope in person. So a couple of people, local guys, have already gotten the cap in their hands. The rest of them that were purchased, which is quite a lot, are en route right now. We ship everything out right away, so you'll see them. But it's cool that local guys swooped in and told us that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good feedback. Let's do a couple more minutes and then we'll start the giveaway. Actually, you know what? Why don't we do the first round of giveaways?
Damn.
You might be confused because there's only supposed to be one round. Chase, jazz hands. We got two more. We got two more.
Oh, man.
4 oil
Holy
caps
crap.
total.
Must be
We're going to
my
do
lucky
2
day.
off of our Facebook post and then 2 off the Instagram post. And what we're going to do is basically load up all the comments and then swoosh through it, stop it, and I think that's the fairest way of doing it. So let's start with one. Why don't I field one more question to you so you can talk, and then I will go load everything up. Subaru. Can Chase's shirt be a giveaway?
Yeah.
No. You can get it on Amazon, though.
No, you can't get it on Amazon. Chase, we're going to have to do a t-shirt giveaway eventually for you. Okay. Cool. So I have got the original contest post loaded up. There's a ton of comments. First of all, thank you guys big for going in on this. It's awesome that it's been so popular because so many of you responded, tagged your friends, liked the picture. I think we're going to be doing more and more of this stuff, and especially if you like the live posts, then let us know. We'll be doing it. Probably not a once weekly thing, but when we have a new product to release, when we have some new news, or we have something like this kind of fun side project, then we can hop on live, do the same thing, answer your questions, and give some stuff away. Okay, so I have just randomly scrolled through comments, go up, down, all around, and I'm going to let Chase put his finger on one of them. Boop. Okay, transfer. And Kidfinity is the first winner.
Bug life.
And we'll kind of... What we'll do is we'll have you DM us, so assuming that you're watching this video, if you are on the list. I will also, if I don't hear from you, then I'll send you a message, and as long as you respond in a couple of days, we'll send it right out to you. So maybe give us your preference of either the yellow zinc or the clear zinc.
Say the name one more time.
It is Kidfinity, Kidfinite. And they tag their friend at RPIN _, and then at BillyJO. So, tag a couple friends. So, I'm going to like that post as well. Okay, and Facebook guys, we did the same thing on Facebook, so why don't we go there? BillyJO. Chase, do you have one of those in your car just yet?
No, I keep it in my office.
Yes.
I keep all my parts in my office.
It's nicer than your car, potentially, so
Yeah.
there's no rust or anything on it.
There's no rust on my car, hardly.
Okay. here we go. We got the Facebook post up, and I'm going to load all comments. Do the same thing, scroll through. Go up a little bit, back. All right, let me pick this one. Why don't you scroll it?
Not bad.
Okay, Facebook winner of the other GrimmSpeed Bolt oil cap is Cody Bowles, Bowles, and he tagged Brian, just Brian, in his. I'm gonna like
Shout
yours.
out to Brian.
Shout out to Brian.
Brian.
That could be anyway. Brian Spillner sounds like a serial killer. So Cody Bowles and Brian Spillner. Well, just Cody. You guys can share the shift knob. Sorry, not shift knob. Oil cap. We do have shift knobs, so you could get a shift knob while we send this to you, and you could share that. We'll send that out to you. Again, message us just as a reminder. Otherwise, I have the screen grabbed, so I'm going to be reaching out to you as well. So that takes care of 2 of these. We'll take them away. We've got 2 more. We'll do those a little bit closer to 5, so let's call it another 15 minutes or so. Right now, I want to hop back on live and answer some more of these questions because I'm sure some more have rolled in. Okay. And some things to mention. I've got my handy-dandy note sheet here. For all you local guys and anyone willing to drive 16 or more hours to be here tomorrow, we're doing our winter beater meet, which is just something fun we're doing at the shop here. Our entire parking lot is covered in feet of snow, so we thought it'd be fun to have a bunch of Subarus out here. And a lot of the Midwest Subarus, you have your kind of cheapo daily winter beater, and that's what we want to see. We want you to roll up your $500 Outback and park sideways up a snow mound. So tomorrow that's going to be going on noon to 3. If you're local, come on in. We're going to have the shop opened up and treats, hot chocolate. We're going to have Chase possibly making an appearance.
I work here.
he works all weekend anyway. So yeah, just hanging out with the staff and checking out our warehouse and all of that. So we can't wait to see you guys there.
There's one question.
Yes.
Where are we pulling the giveaway names from? Is it from the live comments or is it from the Instagram post?
Nope. So there was a post a few days ago, if you guys were following along, on the release of the oil cap on Wednesday. The official post was you just tagged one of your friends and you liked the post. So we went off of that. It's got like 1,300 responses or more, and we just randomly spun through it and picked one. So we'll pick 2 more. The other one was on Facebook. We basically shared it to Instagram, shared it to Facebook off of Instagram. So there's going to be 4 winners total, but you kind of have to be in that post. If you want to go in right away, we might choose the end. You never know, or the newest one. Let's see. Where do you get a $500 Outback? You move to the Midwest.
It's easy.
They're everywhere.
It's easy.
Yeah, I mean,
Where don't you get a
there's going to be
$500?
more Outback missing than there is Outback. The rear fender's going to be rusted out, and it's going to be leaking oil. But
A $500 Outback right back there.
yeah, exactly. So a couple more things to mention. Instagram. While we're on Instagram Live, thank you guys. We kind of reached out to everyone and said, hey, tag us more often. Literally do hashtag GrimmSpeed in all your posts, because the way the new algorithms have changed, it used to be we could basically repost any picture. So if we liked a picture that you posted of your car or of the products, GrimmSpeed products under your hood, then we can repost it. Now it's a little bit more picky. It's a little bit more private, where if you hashtag GrimmSpeed, then we can repost you. So please do that. You guys have been doing great already. You see a lot of customer cars reposted on our webpage, and we love doing that. All of our diehard GrimmSpeed fans, and so keep tagging away. It's been great so far. All right, let's see what we have for more questions. And this one I've seen a couple times. I wasn't going to address it, but we might as well. Plans on making oil pickup and baffle. What is that terrible noise?
That is a snowblower.
Snowblower. So you know how you people in California and Texas have everyone, don't take it there, Chase. You have people leaf blowing all the time, and that's why it's so loud. We have snow blowers all day, so flinging rocks and snow at our cars.
He's snowballing 2 inches of snow. Not even.
Not even. No.
We already shoveled it.
Oil pickup and baffle.
I never even talked about it. I really don't think so. There's some really good choices that you can already buy right now. I don't think so.
Yeah, probably not. And actually, I think IAG, who are awesome guys, they just came out with an oil pickup, if I remember correctly.
Didn't even know. I don't think I can do it any better, so I don't think so. Pick up one of the other guys.
Lightweight crate pulley, are they worth are they worth picking up? I've heard so many pros versus cons.
So you've heard so many pros versus cons.
Cons versus pros. I don't think it matters. Does it matter if you think?
Well, I usually see people
So
like that's
many.
a hot topic, and people are always
Good
like,
store.
"Oh, I always hear
Good
it."
store, hot topic.
Get your Misfits band shirt or something.
You can get your Left Eye
You
shirt.
cannot get this. Like,
You
nothing.
can get. We all know where you got that.
There's
And it
some
was a hot
version-
topic last Tuesday.
There's some version of that shirt.
Free
at
shirt for
Hot
$15.
Topic.
I know
No,
it.
you both wrong. First
No.
of all.
It's probably black though. It's not light pink.
No. Anyway, so like the one of the best reasons to buy a lightweight crank pulley is especially if you're.
Why do we have the display out if you're not going to use it, Chase?
What am I? You know where it is. You got hands. Use your pointing fingers. One of the best things that you can do as your pulley gets older is that there is a thin elastomer between the heavy outside and the inside, and as time goes by, that breaks down. And if those two things separate, all of a sudden, and they will separate, but all of a sudden your accessories aren't driven anymore. So.
Yeah. And remember, a lot of rumor that the OEM pulley is a harmonic dampener. It's not.
Damper. It's not.
It is just a two-piece rubber
It's not.
outside.
I've had to play Keyboard Warrior for, I don't know,
kind of
years,
pulling out of the way 'cause it's
years
blocking
now, with people claiming, oh, I have this info that says it's a harmonic damper and this and that, and it's a super common misconception, but that's not what it is at all.
Yes, and that's straight from Subaru's lips. We didn't make that up.
Yeah.
Their techs have said that it's not. You guys are from the same city as my favorite bike company, All City Cycles. I know them well. I have many of their hats that I'm not wearing currently. But great company.
The
Are
one
you guys
time
making-
you're not wearing that hat.
Well, it's freezing out. I'm not wearing a beanie. Are you guys making new T-shirts and hoodies? We mentioned earlier, but you might have just hopped on that. Yes, we are. We're working on some new apparel. A lot of people want our. We have the zipper hoodies now. We're going to be making a zipless. What is it? What's the name for it? There's got to be an official name for a
Pullover?
regular hoodie. Pullover.
Pullover?
Hoodie.
It's regional.
And some new T-shirts. So yes, those will be coming, especially for the guys that go to soup events. Once those are starting, we're going to have some. Not necessarily show-specific shirts, but we like to debut a lot of our shirts at the shows, so we'll be doing that. Lightweight crank pulley plus lightweight flywheel equals check engine light.
That's usually correct.
That's true. Again, we were talking about earlier our time frame for developing products.
Especially on an EJ specifically.
Exactly.
But to be fair, ours is designed to be heavy enough that with a lightweight flywheel, you will not get that code.
Exactly. So what I was getting at is, we weren't the first one to make the pulley, and that gave us the opportunity to see what's not working out there. And a lot of it was they made their pulleys way too light. And especially when you couple it with a 12-pound flywheel, you're going to get a check engine light.
Yeah.
So
On something like the FA, you don't have that issue.
Yeah. And on the customer service side of things, we never really, it's hard to say never, but we never really get any sort of check engine lights coming on because of our pulleys, even with people that are doing lightweight cranks. GrimmSpeed tracksuit. You would love it.
I
Of
do.
all the people here, you would
I
love
do.
the GrimmSpeed tracksuit most of all.
What's
So-
the hamburger meat? Hamburger.
It'll come with a fake patch of hair.
Yeah.
Right there. This is one that's been asked a couple times too, so we should address it. High performance radiator in the future. We've talked radiators before.
Yeah, we've talked radiators before. That's another thing where, we're not going to be doing the heat exchanger right 50 feet away from me. That's something where we're going to have another company making it. Where I don't know if we're necessarily going to do it better for a competitive price than someone else. Like the top rated radiators that you can buy are manufactured overseas, and they're definitely manufactured overseas for a reason. I've seen some other companies come out with some really nice radiators to the tune of about $1,200. So it's like, I know that's about how much it would cost us to do it.
Yeah.
And if I am going to put, our limited amount of resources for R&D into something like that, I would have to know that we were really going to sell a bunch, and I don't think we're going to sell $1,000 radiators all day. So I would encourage you to purchase it from someone else.
Yeah. I'm going to name drop Koyo because I have 3 Koyos in 3 of my cars, and they're awesome. They're a good price, and they're well built. But that does bring up kind of one of the things we stand behind is U.S. manufacturing. People know us for that, and it's easy. It's easy to hop online and find an overseas manufacturer, and you just click the send button, and you order 1,000 radiators for $50 a pop, and we get them here already packaged and we resell them. But we're not going to do that. If anything, we would work with a company that's local to us. So
1 out of 5 of them leaks, and like I don't want that.
Yeah, in terms of the overseas stuff. So it opens up a can of worms, and it's not something that we want to pursue. We would rather not have the product offering than half-ass it or quarter-ass it.
If I felt like I could make a better product for a price that I thought was something that I would feel okay paying for what I could deliver, then we'll probably do it.
Did I miss Chase cringing while talking about the front mount intercooler? You sure did.
I didn't cringe.
Not cringe. You played it off cool.
I love it.
There is a good amount of front mount intercooler questions. Just to be real, we just are at a point where it's not going to be released next month. If it was, we would be giving you more information, feeding some pictures on social media, and getting guys excited. So once you start seeing that, then the release is inevitable. We just don't want to rush through it and then have pipes that don't fit, have cores that are not to the quality that we want them to be, the welds, everything. So we're taking our time to perfect the beat, and we still got love for the streets.
Oh.
It's in manufacturing.
Oh, man.
How about that?
Mm-hmm.
You like it? Easy.
Koyo for the win, Koyo for the win. A lot of people say that. Appreciate the honesty about all the products. That's what we're here for. That's what the Q&A is. I can't stand watching Q&As on some where they're just feeding you bullshit. And at the end of the day, obviously we're gonna hype our parts. We're not gonna sit here and give you a list of other stuff you should buy. But there are tons of great manufacturers out there that make good stuff. And from customer service perspective, I always say do the research. Go out there, read reviews for people that have already tried these parts. And one of the reasons I say that is because I'm confident that we have awesome reviews out there.
Yeah. We want you to choose GrimmSpeed, but we're not going to be offended if you don't pick us because the product that you see, you don't think it's a fit for you for whatever reason is. We're not going to be offended. We are going to be offended if you buy something and you think it's complete crap and it's because we didn't deliver, to your expectations. So
yeah, and we do our best not to do that.
Oh, I think we do pretty damn well.
Yep. Okay, I'm gonna cap it off with 2 more questions because I think these are good ones to end on, and then we're gonna give away the 2 other oil caps. One of the last 2 questions is, will there be a group buy for the front mount like the GD intake? Yes, there absolutely will be. Most of the bigger stuff we like to do a group buy on. The oil caps we didn't, just because you guys know what it is. It's straightforward. You don't need to ask questions about it. You don't need to see a whole lot of pictures of it or have an install or whatever. On the group buys, that gives us an opportunity to have you guys come in. A couple hundred people in the last time on the GD intake on a Facebook group that can ask us questions and we answer in real time, can give us opinions and just go through the build process. So usually when we get to the last couple of months of a product before it's released, then we'll do that group buy scenario, and front mount intercoolers aren't going to be an exception.
There's a lot of parts. There's a lot of options. There's a lot of fitments. There's a lot of reasons why we made the choices that we did, and just down to basics. We have the best. I'm not even going to say some of the best. We have the best top mounts that you can buy for Subarus, and so why would I sell you a front mount intercooler? Well, because it's going to be one of the best, if not the best front mount that you can get for your Subaru. So we have plenty of data to show off for that too. So we're going to have a lot of that.
Yep, exactly. And the last question that we had is, when are you going to do the giveaway for the oil caps? So we're going to do it now.
We already did it.
2 more. See, you got to remember, these people, some of these are tuning in late, and that's why we did 4 giveaways instead of 2. A little bit of a surprise for you guys. Let me bring my page back up and pick some winners. And the guys that don't win, it's okay. They're available online. You can still hop on there. And I know let's see how many people commented. There was 1,678 likes, and there was 1,241 comments. So I suspect we're going to sell 1,241 oil caps by the end of the weekend.
Yeah.
All right. Well, 1,239.
I only made 1,230.
Oh no! So 10 guys are gonna miss out. Get it now. But they're $60. It's sort of the middle range for how much oil caps typically cost. And the quality, it's GrimmSpeed quality. The coating is awesome. The logo is awesome. And if you buy 2, you get free shipping. It's over $100.
That's not bad.
Yeah, a couple of guys have bought both the yellow and the clear zinc together, so that's pretty cool.
That's cool. It's way cool.
Okay, running through. I'm going to go to a different portion of this list than I did before, a little farther down. But there are a ton of comments. It's hard to pick. My cheat code for you guys is to post as many as you can, because if you do 20 of them, then you got a little better chance of winning. Nope. What? All right, pick one.
No, you're winter.
Okay,
GrimmSpeed almost got picked.
Technical difficulties. Well, then we get to keep them, right?
There you go. All right.
Bloop. Okay, and the winner of one of the oil caps is EJ.WRX. Simple name.
Hell yeah.
I like it. You tagged a bunch of people, so your friends are all going to be jealous when you get it.
Mm-hmm.
But DM us. I will also try and send you a message, and we'll get it sent out to you.
Yeah. Buy your buddies an oil cap.
Yeah, exactly. Buy one for the friend, one for the family, that sort of thing. Okay. Getting back on Facebook, and we're going to do the last giveaway in just a second.
Yeah, if you want to, while you're going through it, I can just say, I'm the one who designed the oil cap. Our previous oil cap was a pretty different design, but when I made this cap, like I sat down and I wanted to make an oil cap that was something that I'd never seen before, but like something unique without just being gaudy or flashy for the sake, because it's really easy to get really gaudy or something that's going to look stupid or out of place in an engine bay. And what looks more in place in an engine bay than a bolt? And then the more that I looked around, it's like, I'd never seen anything like that before. And sure, you've seen, hexagon oil caps before, but this is literally, well, I guess not literally, don't beat me up for the use of that word, but it's a scaled up head of a bolt. It's an exact replica of every other bolt that you're seeing on your engine, just scaled up to 1.75 inches.
A lot of people have been asking us the size of the socket.
I know.
45 mil, right? That's what
I remember
I did the conversion.
There was it's like 44.2 something, so don't try to do that. I haven't put a socket on it. I don't want you to put a socket on that.
Don't do that.
No one's going to have a 45 mil.
That another company made where you could buy it with a special oil wrench, and that was like the car show model, is that you would use the wrench to really tighten it down so people couldn't steal it.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Don't do
ours
that
at all.
All right, so I've got the Facebook up if you want to scroll through, look away, tell me when.
Hit it one time.
I don't know where my phone is.
Right there.
Okay, and the final winner of whichever oil cap they want, whether it's clear or gold, is Nick Rose, and he tagged Lauren Hanley. So, congratulations, Nick. You are the final winner of our, 2 planned oil caps and 2 surprise oil caps, which is awesome. Obviously, we doubled the prize package. So, we're going to be DMing you guys, but again, message us as well. That way we get it out to you. If you need anything else, let us know. The rest of you guys, hop on our website, go pick one up for yourself. While we still have them in stock, I think they're about halfway gone, and that's since Wednesday. So I would suspect by the time Monday hits, especially with our show on Saturday where we're going to be selling some stuff, they're probably going to be out of stock or pretty close to it, and then we're going to have to do a new batch. Same color and everything. It's just going to take probably a couple weeks to get it out packaged up. Again, you can always put orders in, and you kind of take your place in line. But with new products, they're so hot that they just disappear off the shelf really quick. And you have dealers and distributors loading up on them, so you can always buy it from them as well. Eventually, once it gets into their hands. So. I think that's about it. I mean, we didn't go crazy in depth on our engine display, so Clinton, just walk around, show it off a little bit.
Okay, I can do that.
We'll do some, we've already posted some stuff about it. It's a really good learning lesson, especially for guys that need some install help or routing, location, that sort of thing. So if you have any questions, you could always email us, just support@grimmspeed.com, and then we're going to be probably using the display for a lot of the stuff troubleshooting-wise. And in the next few weeks, we'll be getting the front clip done. We'll be putting the engine in, and Live?
We're back.
Okay, we got disconnected for some reason. I don't know if we hit a timer or something, but that's fine because it's 5 o'clock on a Friday. I want to go home.
Oh, we're back?
No. 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 5 o'clock on a Friday. You didn't just see our
Nope.
Mount Intercooler, that's for sure.
I didn't show it.
Yes. So we're gonna be saying adios. Chase is already gone. He scurried off with that intercooler. But thank you guys. Thank you for tuning in. We got tons of questions. That's better than we could have hoped for. We didn't even get all that much time to talk about the really in-depth stuff that we wanted to. So we'll be doing some more live sessions later on. You guys can message us with stuff you want to see on the videos. We'll be putting this up on YouTube as well. We've been kind of filming it on the side, so in case you guys want to look at it later, or you have some buddies that are at work that want to check it out, then you can let them know. It'll be on our YouTube page. And really, that's it. Big thank you, and we'll see you on the next one.